Something like that. Yeah. Find more well,
Yeah. Right, exactly.
You show your license. Right. Or your license. Oh, okay. First. I didn't. I don't know. I just strictly just.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just want that sick. I was so sick.
Nothing weird.
That, yeah, yeah, no, I know, but I know like. They still. I know. Well, yeah. Some of you're like trying to put your initiatives even more. Like I know the market about. Personal hard. Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Not in this relationship.
It's good.
Think I can start this meeting, Vice Chair. Good afternoon. Welcome to Health and Human Service Meeting. Thank you all for being here. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Marecki, Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Commissioner Killeen,
Here.
Chair Scott,
Present.
you have a quorum present.
Thank you so much. Okay.
B,
Next item,
Chairwoman's
please.
remarks.
I don't have any at this moment. Thank you.
C, approval of the March 24th, 2026 meeting minutes.
It's been moved by Commissioner Killeen, supported by Commissioner Anderson. All in favor? Right. And we will note that Commissioner Marecki has joined us. Thank you. Okay, next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Okay, next item.
Item 1, under new business, requesting commission approval of a 2-year grant services agreement with the Liberian Association of Michigan to build a community center kitchen.
Okay, who do we have to speak on that today? The director himself.
Good afternoon, Anthony Cartwright, Interim Director of Economic Development.
Thank you.
Erica Clark, General Secretary and Compliance Officer for the Liberian Association of Michigan.
All right, thank you.
So the Liberian Association of Michigan, they're looking to develop a community kitchen and food hub at 13300 Puritan. That's in District 5. An initiative transforming the existing space into the Liberian Community Center into a full acceptable commercial kitchen, and it's going to be over a 24-month period. The project is designed to address 3 core competencies: food security, economic opportunity, and the community connection. And it's gonna be built out in 3 phases. And I'll let the compliance officer, Erica Clark, speak a little bit more on the project.
All right, thank you. Go
Hello.
ahead, ma'am.
Hello, Council. So just a little history I want to give about the
Get your
association.
mic on.
I think it is. It's on.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay. Just a little history. The association was formed by Liberian college students in 1971, and we became incorporated in 1980. And we bought a community center in the early 2000s. I want to say around 2002. And since then, we've been a pillar in the community, providing social services, immigration services, food services, and also education services to the community. And through the years, we've grown and matured in such a way that we've been able to assist our community and see their needs. And with seeing that, we've noticed we have food insecurities in the area and also some food deserts. And we wanted to bring a community kitchen in the area where we can both help food entrepreneurs and also address the food insecurity. We've been able to gather funding for part of our project through the city of Detroit. With a grant of $180,000 to help us with accessibility of the center. And so we're asking for the remainder to help us develop the community kitchen.
So have you been funded before?
Yes, we've been funded by the city of Detroit,
Okay.
$180,000.
Okay.
And we've also been funded again from the city of Detroit for our senior wellness program. And that was in the amount of $20,000. And we've also been able to fund or fundraise within the community upwards of $70,000 of cash that we have on hand to support the project.
Okay.
Yeah, so the total project cost for this is about almost $500,000. Like Erica said, they got $200,000 from City of Detroit, 72.5, and we're looking to close the gap with the $227,000 from our contribution.
Okay.
And it's general fund special account.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Peterson?
Thank you, District 5.
Yes.
Your district.
Right, that's my district. So, have we made connections with the schools in that area? I'm sure from some of the services that you're already providing, but I know there are a couple of hubs in the city as it relates to the school district, but there are some gaps.
Mhm.
And I think this might be in an area where there's a little bit of gap from the hubs that are in that area. Have we made any connections, or is that on the agenda to make some connections with the schools in that area that surrounds your location?
That would be on our agenda to make connections.
Okay.
However, we've been able to service families within the community.
Mhm.
Not the school necessarily, but we've been able to service those families in the areas through our various projects that we do throughout the year.
Okay, so you're probably doing it already because those students who live in the area,
Yes.
they go to the schools in the
Mhm.
area. So thank you.
You're welcome.
About how many families have you assisted?
We've assisted over 150 families. We do back to school projects. We do community outreach. We do around the holidays. We do Christmas funding giveaways. We have a community, I like to say kickback every summer, but the whole community is welcome. We block the city off. It's right on Puritan Ave. We give away school supplies, hygiene products, everything. And this is funding that we as a community pull together. So we haven't been funded for that. It's literally just the association and our own outreach, reaching out to donors to be able to fund that.
Very good. Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd love to hear about organizations supporting the community, because that's key to what makes us thrive. So, the food entrepreneur, you said you're using it for entrepreneurs that want to, I guess, cook in the,
So it would be
how does that work? That's
both a
Mhm.
launch pad for foodpreneurs,
Okay.
as we like to call them. So those who want to develop their business as food entrepreneurs. So we would help support them in that area. We'll also have storage space for those who, may need extra storage for their own businesses. But we will also be able to use the space to also help the food insecurity in the area, and also food education. So we'll have classes for healthy food, which ties back into our senior wellness program that we did this past spring, summer, where we were able to have a program that literally helped to help seniors with wellness. So we had mind, body, and health. We had healthy food, how to prepare those healthy foods. And so this would just be a way for us to expand. So just not for food entrepreneurs, but also to help the food insecurity in the area as well.
So will this be free for them to come in and cook in the kitchen, or how does that work?
Yeah, so those who are involved in the programming, it'll be free for them.
Okay.
Mhm.
But for the entrepreneurs, that's what I'm referring to. When
Yes,
you say,
those who are part of the programming, yes.
okay,
Mhm.
when you say part of the programming, I guess, is it like you sign up? What does that mean?
Yeah, so they'll sign up, we'll have classes, we'll help support them
Okay,
in the food entrepreneurship. Yeah.
all right. And the expansion, so you currently have a kitchen, you're
Yes.
just expanding on it. And are you using the full amount, the 180 from the city for expansion of the kitchen, or is this expansion of other areas
Nope.
of
So
500?
the 180 has already been used for accessibility upgrades. So we wanted the building to be prepared once we open up the project. And so the city of Detroit, thankfully, was able to help us fund that. So now we have automatic doors, we have a ramp, we have railings to be able to assist them into coming into the building. And then the 227 will be for the kitchen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And this amount the 227,000, what will that actually do?
It would expand the community kitchen, will make it a community kitchen because now it's just like a regular kitchen, but it needs to be commercial for us to be able to support the project.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Mareki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So who's doing the work on the kitchen?
So we don't know at the moment, but we have contractors that we've worked with in the past that we were able to attain when we had the City of Detroit grant. So we do have relationships with contractors, but we haven't chose anyone at the moment.
So you're just estimating that this is a cost of a new kitchen, $250,000?
No, so we have an architect, and prior to receiving the 180 from the city that we had to do the accessibility grant, we also received something called a master plan grant through the City of Detroit, and they were able to tell us all the things that we needed to make the building accessible. And then also with that plan, we have an architect who was able to build out what the kitchen would need and how that would look in terms of a budget.
In that, this, from Commissioner Scott's question, this money is for the kitchen.
It's for the kitchen.
Okay, I just wanted, there was I see our staff was asking some questions of your group. It said, will use of the kitchen be free of charge? Is along the lines of Commissioner Baker McCormick. It says use of the community kitchen will be available to the general public free of charge. It is not limited to members of the Librarian Association of Michigan. While LAM is a member-based nonprofit, membership is not required to access and utilize the community center or the community kitchen. The kitchen will operate as a public-facing community resource consistent with the project's economic development and public benefit goals. So yes, during program hours, residents will be able to use the kitchen free of charge. So what does that exactly look like?
So those residents who who are food entrepreneurs, they can come in to use the kitchen to prepare their food. They can also use the storage space if they want to maybe teach classes on how they prepare their food to the public. They'll be able to use our space.
So they'll just be able to like reserve it,
Yes.
come in and use their space, and then you guys, your group cleans it up after, or how does that all work?
So, I mean, that would be, so we have other funding and we have someone there to clean the building. But as far as the 227 would not be used to pay for people to, clean it. It would be just for the project itself.
With kitchen.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anyone else? Commissioner Kleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to explore the notion that was explored in the back and forth questioning from Commission Counsel. What qualifies this as being a public purpose?
We do have corp counsel here, but just before Jim comes up, it's a community kitchen, it's a community center, so and as Erica just stated, everybody in the community can use the center to come in and cook, during the scheduled time. So I believe it fits all legal principles of being a public purpose by it being a community center. If corp counsel wants to expand on that, I'll let Jim go ahead and do it. But that's, in my opinion, that meets the
Well, that was
description.
expanded on a little bit in the answers that Commission Counsel asked. So, and of course the food desert and stuff, and from the east side, I know all about food deserts for years. But I'm trying to see how that gets at this. Enables the preparation and distribution of nutritious meals. Okay, food desert. What meals? Where do they go? We're making nutritious meals, but where does it go from there? Especially for the public.
I think the public part is is the community being able to use the kitchen and the foodpreneur program that you guys have that's creating foodpreneurs that are able to use the kitchen and use that for benefit for, you know, creating their own businesses.
Yeah, see, it's around business development here,
Part of it sounds like, yeah. Not the whole thing.
which is different than there's a lot of good nutritious food here. Members of the community, come on in and avail yourself of it.
So that's why part of the build is for storage. So we have
For
storage. So we'll have storage space to be able to, you know, house nutritious meals. So we can service the public, those who may need it. We have storage space there to be able to keep it. I don't want to say thermogenic. That's the wrong word, but to keep it food safe.
And when you said keep it in storage, and you talked about the public, how is that going to be distributed to the public?
So we've already, in the past,
And by distributed, I mean just like with Forgotten Harvest or something, people show up, open up the trunk of their car, here's the food.
yeah, so
That doesn't sound like what's happening here.
in the past, as a community itself, we've done food drives and have been able to feed the community. But just due to space, we have been limited in how much we can outreach to the community. So having the community kitchen in that storage space would give us enough space and storage to be able to service more people in the community.
And how do you do that? That's what I'm trying to get at, because you were saying, you know, you don't have the storage space to distribute to the community. How does that distribution take place? Like Forgotten Harvest does it?
Well, so we have families that we work with in the community. And so when we've done our food drive, we have names, we have lists of those families, and we literally, they can come and get food. But it hasn't always been done in such a way where we've had enough space to like store it. And so having a kitchen and space dedicated to preserving that food would help us to distribute it more efficiently.
How do you make it onto the list? It doesn't sound, you know, like Forgotten Harvest, you just show up. It's not like, well, are you on the list before we can distribute to you? So how do you develop that list and who are they?
So I don't have the data with me, sorry, but we have been in the community since 2002. So we have families who just know that the center is there. And our president is here, but he's there periodically. And we've had families throughout the year come, like they'll see our doors open and they'll come. We have a kitchen there. If we have food, we give it to them.
All right, I'm gonna leave that.
So, you know, I don't know how you make it on the list, but it doesn't sound like
I mean, there's no,
it doesn't sound like you deny anybody
no,
in the community from being able to participate.
And see, that's what I'm getting at with public dollars. And by the way, because I want to come back to this in a minute, but before I forget, your funding, what's the funding for the ongoing operation? Because the county money is for build out, right?
Mhm.
And you got build out money from the city of Detroit. So how are you gonna go from year to year? What's your funding for maintaining and paying the heat bill and the light bill, and I'm not seeing the funding for ongoing
Yep.
existence.
So we were recently awarded through two other funders too, Priority Health and Humana. Both have promised us funds for the community kitchen project.
That's the 72,000.
No, that's money that we've raised as a community on our own to sustain the project. But both those organizations have both promised funds very recently, very recently.
But they haven't cut a check.
No, we're in Oracle for one.
Yeah, I
But
got that.
but the funds has not,
But I have to be concerned about
Yeah.
that. Okay. The 72,000 then is for what? That you've raised yourself?
To sustain the community, sorry, not the community, but the organization itself and our different projects that we have throughout the year. So we have fundraising going on throughout the year.
So it's not for the operation of this building. It's for other things that your society's doing.
I mean, it's for everything. That's our,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, 72,000 doesn't go a long way in terms of upkeep of the building and day-to-day operation.
We've been open since 2002, never missed a bill, never been shut down. So we also own our own building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, there's ongoing costs, and you're upping the ante here. You're going to have higher bills once you, monthly bills once you build this out.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the facility provides hands-on training in culinary arts, food safety. This was an answer that came to our attorney, and hospitality, equipping residents, particularly those from low to moderate income backgrounds, with marketable skills. How are you going to go about that?
So we will outreach to have vendors come in and help teach part of the programming for the foodpreneurs to be able to teach those like culinary classes, food and safety, so they can be able to sustain their projects and also the community as well.
How do you participate? Well, okay, that's not set up yet. That's aspirational for what we're talking about here, right? That's what we want to get to.
We don't have the program on now because we don't have the funds just now, but that's our goal.
That's the goal. Okay. So what if folks walk away from, if you're providing hands-on training in all of this, hospitality, food safety, equipping them with marketable skills, how are you going to go about that? Because that's part of your ongoing costs to be able to run stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of our planning is, like I said, to get vendors to come in to be able to help in that way. At the time, we don't have a dedicated person that I could say that will be the one that's teaching and doing those skills, but we do intend to get vendors to come in.
Yeah, and I got, because there's a lot of terms in here. The improvements to the contractor's building. Who's the contractor? I thought you owned the building.
We do own the building.
Who's the contractors? Well, when it says the improvements to the contractor's building, that's the improvements. When you say contractor, that's referring to yourself?
That will be referring to us. We own our building.
Okay. However, in the response, the contractor is not required to distribute food to the public. There are no requirements for classes. Well, this is the question that comes from our council. In looking at the paperwork, council advises us it's not required to, there's nothing in the paperwork that requires distribution of food to the public, and there's no requirement for classes that will be provided. Is that accurate?
We have it written up.
Yeah, repeat that.
Yes, in the question, I don't know. I think I know who answered these questions. In the due diligence by the commission and from our attorney, one of the things she was discussing about the contract, because this goes back to the notion of public purpose for this, which is what we have to spend money on, right? County can't spend money on stuff that's not a public person. That there's no requirement for the distribution of food to the public, no requirement for the classes. The classes will be provided. So it's hard to figure this out. So is there a requirement in the contract, in what we negotiated, that food would be distributed to the public for free?
Our attorney would like to chime in on this. Commissioner.
I'd love to have her.
So through the chair, so there is no requirement in the agreement for food distribution. So I know there's been some discussion addressing food insecurity, but there's nothing in this agreement that says that they are a food distribution center. Now, maybe that's a part of their operations, but it's not a requirement in the contract. As far as the classes, the agreement does indicate that they're required to provide 10 to 12 annual nutrition education sessions on healthy food prep, budgeting, and chronic disease. So when we talk about there's no requirements for the classes, it's not clear who's running the classes. They're not, who's licensed. Are you getting certified? That type of stuff for the classes. It's just that they're going to provide a session on healthy food prep, budgeting, and chronic disease without any other understanding of who's providing that, if they're certified or when, because it says in here that they'll have 5 food entrepreneurs certified. So that's the requirement of the contract, that they get 5 food entrepreneurs certified, but they're not doing the certification. So it's just some gaps in understanding exactly what their role is and how it's, and what the requirements were. And that's what we were trying to point out in the agreement.
That
Okay,
was,
thank
Waiting on
you.
me?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. Jim Jernigan, Assistant Corporation Counsel. So on pages 23 through 25 of the agreement itself, it outlines the fact that the LAM will obviously open the kitchen pursuant to the architect's specs, that they will open and promote community kitchen and food hub, share marketing and promotion materials for community residents and members of the community. They will begin its food entrepreneurship program, establish a community garden, and that the kitchen will remain free and accessible for the public for non-commercial uses, as our guest has described. Further, on page 25 of the contract, it outlines the things that your council just outlined, including education sessions, food entrepreneurship programs, training residents in food safety, business regulation, and marketing, in addition to large-scale community events and service of seniors and individuals with disabilities. So, at the end of the day, I think that all of these endeavors certainly qualify as or fall well within public purpose. I think that what our guest is describing is wanting to make sure that the facility is in a space and a position where these things can take place.
you used the term non-commercial uses. What does that entail?
Well, I think our guest has already described what the intended use of this commercial grade kitchen is, which is allowing food entrepreneurs to come in and practice their trade, allowing
That's
food
a commercial use.
and allowing these food entrepreneurs to come in also and feed members of the public, if I heard that correctly. So they would engage in their activities and vis-a-vis that ability, training themselves, are feeding the public at the same time. And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying anything wrong.
Not so far, no.
Okay, that's good. Stop. Kick me under the table if I do.
All right, Commissioner Peterson,
Madam Chair, may I?
you're not through?
Oh, no.
Okay, all right.
I'll signal you.
Oh, gosh, okay.
Commissioner, let me point out one other thing that a lot with all of these contracts where we are funding capital improvements to facilities, we are filing a claim of interest so that nothing can happen to this property, and we are requiring these entities, and all of these recipients are referred to as contractors. Okay, just so we're clear. So the term contractor in the contract itself does not refer to some third party. It's the LAM.
Yeah, that.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And we also require them to maintain this activity for at least 3 years after the term of the contract is done. So we're talking about basically a 5-year period, during which time they're obligated to comport with these activities that are outlined in the contract.
Okay. Let me also just say, I've been around these issues for a long, long time. I'm a longtime resident of 48205. Come over and check out our grocery stores and places where you wonder if they pass their health inspections when you walk in. And so I'm familiar with this. I'm also on the board over at Authority Health. We run a community kitchen. on Mack Avenue over by St. Clair. So I'm a little familiar with the operation and how those community kitchens are used. And that's what I'm exploring here in order to come up with some county funds to support that. A fee will be charged to individuals and businesses who wish to utilize the kitchen for commercial use. So you do have somebody can come in and rent the place for commercial use?
Yeah, so this is our facility now. We have rentals, so people are able to come in and rent the space. But if they want to come in and rent the kitchen, not the food entrepreneurs, not those who are
Yeah.
accessing the program for free, they will pay a fee, and that fee will just be used to maintain and sustain the program.
Okay. What are the hours for the public to come to this facility?
We would have regular business hours, that being from around maybe 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
But that's not established yet.
Well, our community center is open now during regular hours. Well, we've recently had some construction, so we've been closed down, but now since our upgrades are completed, we're open and accessible during business hours.
So a member of the community can walk in at 9 o'clock in the morning, pick up some food, whether they're on whatever that list is or not.
So when we have that programming, we will have hours set out for those individuals to come and pick up food. I wouldn't say we'll be open, 24 hours. I mean, we would have to have someone there to be able to make sure it's open and.
Well, that's another word that floated through here, programming, right? And I didn't find how that was defined. And you're saying, well, they can come in when there's programming. What does that mean?
So the programming for those food entrepreneurs who are coming in and, or not even the food entrepreneurs, but when we hold classes, so that's speaks to the programming, but not necessarily to food distribution.
So the classes, again, I'm just working my way through this. Hands-on training, those are the classes. The hands-on training, let me find my spot again. In culinary arts and food safety and hospitality, there's going to be classes for members of the public in food safety.
Yes, so of course we have to contact vendors who will be able to come in and help support that. Yes.
So these things aren't lined up yet. Culinary arts.
We didn't have the funding prior, so no, we don't have it now, but that's a goal
They're building
for the
kitchen.
program. Yeah.
That's what we're here for. They're building the kitchen.
I could be wrong, but I don't necessarily think you need a improvement in the kitchen to talk about food safety and to talk about culinary arts. A lot of that stuff can go on aside. Madam Chair, as you can tell my questioning, I have issues with this. So you're going to have people come in to run the classes. Are you paying them to do that?
We will have vendors come in, and then I don't think they'll do it for free, but we will also reach out to partners who nonprofits that we're connected with in the community who could also come in and support us in those efforts.
Okay. And that'd be a little bit of what we call if-come poker. Drawn to an inside straight or something, right? Boy, I hope that 6 pops up in order to make this hand work. All right, Madam Chair, I'll leave it there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Peterson.
Just one final So this is a classic case of a community taking charge of their own destiny in the community.
Mhm.
And so oftentimes we hear from our community that in order to access some of these other programs, they have to go really far out of their community. And so what's being built here now is, or being built on to since 2002, is an opportunity for people to just go right down the street. Right down the street and get the services that they need. I do know that there are nonprofits who have people that could work in this space with you, but they are requiring that the amenities are there. And I think what may be there now, you would not be able to get some of these people come in, do some of the things that you're looking to do. So I look forward to seeing what all the renovations look like before you go live. I know you've been doing things since 2002, so you must have been doing something right to stay in business this long. So I just look forward to the opportunity to come and see kind of what you're doing. I know Mr. Cartwright mentioned about 3 phases. So is the kitchen phase, is that in phase 1 or 2, or is that phase 3?
It will be I believe phase 1
Phase 1,
is the build out.
okay, on the build out. Okay, thank you,
All right.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I came into this meeting when I first saw it on the agenda. I was concerned about a number of things, and some of the things that the previous speaker had been bringing up. I just wonder how this is going to work when people are coming and going. Who's responsible for keeping the kitchen clean? Are they going to be required to sign in? I would assume you'd have someone that'll be watching to see that it's kept clean. Otherwise, it'll defeat the purpose. Certainly, and then it could be a failure. What I'm concerned with too is what happens down the road, and say if things don't work out in 3 to 5 years, what happens with does the county recoup anything for what we've given now and what the county taxpayers are putting into this? But I don't know if I could ask our council, is there anything that allows the county to recover if the organization decided they wanted to sell the building, move on to something else? Is the county just left at the loss of the 230,000, almost 230, 227? Is it just a loss to the county and taxpayers, or what happens?
Through this chair to this honorable body, so while the agreement indicates that the contractor is not supposed to sell, if they attempted to do so, or if they somehow did so, then that would just be a matter for, I'm gonna look at Corporation Council to try to go after to see what funds are available to recoup or not. I mean, there's no requirement for automatic reimbursement if they don't meet the goals or anything like that. So it would just be a matter of looking at our basic legal remedies and probably having to sue to see what is available or not available to recoup from the nonprofit.
Which would be additional expenditures of the taxpayers' dollars to do that, to try to recover that. So is it not possible to have provision in the contract that automatically says that happens without having to go to court and sue them?
Through the chair, I mean, all of our contracts are uniform in terms of our breach provisions and our
Mhm.
opportunities to cure. Okay, in terms of the party that's in breach, the fact that we have that we will be recording at the Register of Deeds a claim of interest would effectively prohibit. I mean, not strictly, but in any kind of real world sense, would prohibit this particular party from disposing of this property until the end of that 3-year period has expired. There is a danger with all of these nonprofits. I mean, this isn't GM. None of these are GM. None of these are Ford. I mean, so all of the nonprofits that we're dealing with in this realm, we face that risk with all of them. And so the fact that this particular nonprofit has been in business for over 20 years, I think gives the executive a great deal of comfort for this particular investment. Like I say, all of these contracts for all of these nonprofits are uniform in terms of their breaching collection provisions.
I would just say that I think you're trying to do something that I think is certainly good. No one could argue that for the community. I hope it turns out the way it's been presented here, that it turns out that it is successful, beneficial to the community, and to anyone that walks through the doors that needs the help. I think it's a wonderful thing to do if it works out that way. And I am and it's not just your organization, but I'm concerned about anytime tax dollars are going into something that without some guarantee that we're going to recover money if the decision's made to close the doors and move on to something else. But I would never loan someone money without having some way to recover that money. And we have a responsibility, I think, to look out for the taxpayers in town, in this community and this county. But I hope it works out the way it's been presented, and it's very successful, as I said, and beneficial to the folks in the community. How would you handle who comes in and uses the kitchen? How do you see that working so that it's clean as it was when they walked in the door, and there's no issue there to have to pay someone to clean up after whoever's been in there before? Because it sounds like it's sort of going to be like an open policy for people to come in and use the kitchen. And I just wonder how that's going to be handled. That's probably my last question.
Well, we have definitely need scheduling. So we'll have scheduling for certain programs that are going on. So if someone's there using the kitchen, we would definitely have it's scheduled to where someone's there, security is there, and that the building is open at the designated times. And so that would just take us back to having a dedicated schedule and manpower to be able to facilitate those hours.
And the food storage you were talking about, I understand the need to have refrigeration and everything, certainly. How is that going to be maintained? Who put that food in there, and whose food that is? And is that going to be an issue, or do you not see it as being an issue?
I don't believe that would be an issue because those who are part of the programming, of course, will have to give us some type of information on what they're storing, how it's being stored, because we also have people who are vegan or some people who may be allergic. So we'll have separate storage spaces for different needs.
Okay. I appreciate you being here, and appreciate your willingness to do something like this, and hopefully, as I said, it'll be successful for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have two more, but do you how much staff do you have now?
Currently, so all of the effort with the community, it's all volunteer. Even my role, I've grew up in the organization maybe since around 10 years old.
Okay.
And now I've been this secretary and compliance officer for the last 5 years.
Okay.
So all of our staff there are volunteers, but all of our tenure there, mine has been 5 years. The president, I believe, is 4 years. And so we have our executive team, but then we also have our community as well.
All right, thank you, Commissioner McCormick, and then Marecki.
Okay, thank you. So this concept is, I think, new to all of us. Or at least to me, we're not really sure how it's going to work. So I think that is the difficulty here. As well, anytime we take public funds and invest them in a physical property, that's an issue as well. So the claim of interest is good to know for the public, that we can somehow recoup any monies that we may lose if for whatever reason this doesn't work, or you walk away from it. But my question was kind of what Commissioner Martha G. Scott just asked as to the employees and who will maintain the everyday program and I know you don't have the full structure yet. That's what you're telling us, but that's of concern to make sure that all of these moving parts work. So, and I know there's supposed to be 10 to 12 classes. Who's coordinating all of that? And are you going to, at some point, hire someone to do this day-to-day work? Because you're gonna need someone there to maintain the program.
Yep, so we intend to hire someone, but I just want to kind of go back to our senior wellness program that we had previously, and we were funded through the city of Detroit. Our senior wellness program, it was 8 to 10 weeks. And in our community, we have over 15 to 20 nurses. And so through the association, we have something called the Health and Wellness Committee. Those nurses man the whole project, volunteer work 10 weeks straight. So they were there doing health examinations and teaching classes. And so they volunteered for that 10 weeks straight. So as far as this program, we will also look for volunteers, but we will also, of course, have to hire someone more than likely, depending on what the program is. So if we're doing the classes, so health and wellness classes. And so maybe if we want someone to come in and specifically outside of our nurses or our nurse practitioners to choose certain classes, we would more than likely have to hire someone. But of course, see if they'll volunteer first. So we're open to hiring someone.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is at this point is basically volunteers, but once you kind of build everything out, then you'll hire someone to be there on a day-to-day.
All of our work
Okay.
since we've been in the community has been volunteer.
Okay.
All of our work.
Right. And I guess that's a little concerning because what you're telling us you envision is this program, and I'm trying to understand how it's going to be successful if there's no point person, like
No,
you can call.
we'll have a point person. So so that will be worked into what we're doing. So say for instance, when we have the classes for the food entrepreneurs who will need to be certified, we will have to hire someone. We don't currently have someone on staff now who could facilitate those classes. So we would have to hire someone for that.
And then the funding comes for continuous services comes from where?
So we recently we were funded from 2 health organizations, both Priority Health and
Okay, so
Mana.
you're
Yeah.
going back to the funds you talked about earlier.
Yes.
The grants you're going to get, not necessarily.
We have one that we're going through contract now. We're in the contract system, so yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Chairwoman. So Jim, this 3-year that nothing can be done, why is it only 3 years?
Well, so for the more expensive projects, we expand them out even further for a fairly modest amount of money. So we kind of there's no mathematical formula. So for a project that's in the millions, we go, usually 7 to 10 years. So for a number like this, $200,000, we do a rough calculation that, and think that the 3 years in addition to the 2-year contractual period is a fair number for the amount of the investment.
Because 3 years goes pretty quick.
Yes, it does.
So I guess I feel like if this is a bank and you were coming for a loan or a grant, it's almost like a business plan is needed. And like some of my colleagues have mentioned that it's very disjointed to me. That's all I want to say. I think you're doing probably great in the neighborhood and in the area, but this is $250,000 of this ARPA money, right? This general fund ARPA money that I see a lot of contracts are starting to come forward again with this. So that's just my comment. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Well, let me just say, I am glad that you're in the community, you are working together and you got these volunteers, and it sounds like you have some committed people. So I'm just wishing you well on it.
Thank you.
4 years.
Yes, thank you.
4 years.
Commissioner Wilson? You just had to. All right, okay. I thought your hands was raised, but anyway. All right, Mr. Director, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And can I have a vote on this, please?
I know. All right, I move to support the motion, item number 1.
Okay, and I will support it.
Right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not one of you three?
I'm gonna do it. Can I do a roll call?
Yes, please.
Okay.
do a roll call.
Commissioner Baker McCormick,
Aye. Yes, yes.
Commissioner Marecki, Commissioner Anderson,
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Colleen, Chair Scott,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you. We have to have a little faith in our community. Yeah. Sounds like she,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. And I know that the commissioner from that district will be on it. Yeah, she's on it. All right, thank you all.
Yep.
Next item, please.
Moving to the addenda, item 4,
Okay,
requesting commission approval of a grant agreement with the Michigan Association for Local Public Health to support employee well-being, engagement, and connection through a mix of mindfulness, education, and team building experiences.
so, thank you. Who do we have to speak on that?
Good afternoon,
Good
Camille
afternoon.
Johnson, Director of Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. It's nice to see you all today.
Thank you.
So today I'm requesting approval to accept and enter into an agreement with the Michigan Association for Local Public Health for staff well-being. It's a mini grant in the amount of $5,000. This is a grant that we also received last year. This grant supports our department's efforts to strengthen and support employee well-being in local health departments. Last year with these funds, we were able to do an HHVS employee picnic. We had about 125 staff attend this picnic last year, and we were able to incorporate well-being exercises. We had an individual that came out and did motivational speaking, talked about meditation, relaxation. We also offered mini chair massages as well as food truck. And it was an opportunity for the employees to come together and engage with each other. So we are asking for your approval to receive this grant again this year.
Do you have a date for this?
We are targeting July, I want to say the 31st, the last Saturday, I think, I'm sorry, last Friday in July, we're looking to do it again this year.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Khalid.
Thank you, Madam. The Michigan Association
Of
Local Public Health,
Yes, mouth.
that's a new organization to me. Who are they?
They've actually been around for a while. I'm not sure for how long, but they are the organization that coordinates and pulls together all of the local public health departments in Michigan, and they provide resources to each public health department.
Do they have like a board?
They do.
Who's that?
I-
No, but I mean, is this done by health? Is this done by insurance companies? Is this what comprised? I'm just because I've never heard of it. The Michigan Association. Who's in the association?
I will have to get that information and follow back.
Yeah,
up
is
with
that
you, 'cause
all local health departments?
it is local health departments are all involved in the
Yeah.
Michigan local. Yes, they are
Okay.
part of it, but yeah.
Because since they're doing this, and to me, that indicates they have other grants that they could possibly do. So I'm just trying, if you could send something along as to who they are
Yeah, sure.
and what they do, I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Dr. Sheth, Chief Medical Health Officer for Wayne County HHBS. Michigan Association for Local Public Health has been around for quite some time. They're an entity that each local health department pays membership dues into.
Okay.
And then they serve as kind of the support association for specifically local health department issues and concerns. So this is an example of one mini, sometimes they have funding for these mini kind of grant awards that really support. They do a lot of stuff with workforce development and training and wellness support, especially post-pandemic. They also are a liaison for us to MDHHS for shared interests and priorities from the local health department perspective.
So they're kind of a lobbying also,
They have an
not to the
advocacy,
legislature, but to
yeah.
MDHHS.
MDHHS and sometimes the legislature too, when there
Okay.
are, regulations and budgets and
Okay.
funding that concern local health departments.
Okay. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm. Do you know who attended this last year when you had it?
Last year, so the 125 employees, they were employed across all the 6 divisions of HHBS, from public health to access to care, medical examiner's office. So we do have employees from all the divisions that will participate. And we do a survey afterwards and, just to share a couple statements from employees who participated.
Okay.
One individual said, this event made me feel appreciated and valued as an employee. It showed that leadership is intentional about supporting staff morale and well-being. We also had another individual that commented and said, this event reinforced a sense of community within HHVS. It reminded me that we are part of a supportive team that cares about both professional success and personal well-being. And so as you can imagine, in the day-to-day work that we do, we often work in silos and we don't have a chance to come together and collaborate with other colleagues in different divisions. And so having this event gives a space and opportunity to be able to do that and just really focus on employees' well-being.
Very good. Mhm. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Move to approve, Madam Chair.
Right. Thank you. Is there support?
Yep, support.
It's moved in by Commissioner Khalid, supported by Commissioner Marecki. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of Amendment 2 to a 1-year agreement with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to receive and disperse additional state grant funds through the fiscal year 2026 Local Health Department Comprehensive Grant to carry out program activities for numerous local health department program services.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hello, good afternoon, commissioners. Dr. Brianna Eccleston, Director of Public Health Division. And this is our comprehensive grant that we have that supports various programs across public health and clinical care services. We get several amendments throughout the year. So this is the second amendment that we did receive that is just supporting and having increase in some of the grant funding for our ending the HIV epidemic. program with the jail, Wayne County Jail testing, public health emergency preparedness programs, and then our vector-borne surveillance and prevention program, and as well as the food delivery service program.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Commissioner Peterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one quick question. Do the services that you provide for the HIV epidemic, do those also, are young people in a juvenile detention center also afforded that education?
I am not sure about that. I would have to get back because I do not run the Wayne County jail system, but yeah, Dr. Shethinsky. So,
Yeah, this funding is specifically for the jail linkage work. And so it, does a lot of screening for all individuals who enter the jail setting, and then treatment and linkage to care for those that test positive. In the juvenile detention facility, they do universal screening for STIs as well in the JDF setting as well,
Okay.
and linked to the appropriate care provider.
Okay, so they're receiving the same type of, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure, want to give your name again, Doctor?
Sure. Dr. Sheth, Chief Medical Officer, Wayne County HHVS.
I
Thank
did have one more question in that chart. I don't want to assume I know what body art fees, but are we talking about tattoos?
yes, so these
Oh.
are like for
Okay.
tattoo parlors. Yes, anything microblading, things like that, that our health inspectors do go out
Okay.
for. Emerge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Murray.
Thank you. You know what?
Eyebrows.
Will you refresh my memory in the food delivery service program?
Yes, so the food delivery service program was originally the SDOH hub pilot program that we did have. So the state has just restructured that just to align with the priorities. So the food delivery service program was just an arm of that. So they just renamed it. And this is just supporting a lot of our, our senior services with Meals on Wheels, helping out with the delivery of that, as well as our mobile market, like the Easter Market, Well-Rain Fresh Trucks, things like that. So that's
Okay,
what
it's all
that
looped in
funding is
together.
all looped in
Okay,
together.
got it.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep. They just renamed it
Okay.
essentially. Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I have one more question. Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you through the chair. The infant safe sleep, who's the partners? Is that just our hospitals, or are we partnering with community groups for the infant safe sleep program?
We do have partners in the community as well that our Infant
Okay.
Safe Sleep program does partner with to be able to help run some.
Do you
of our
know off the
programs.
top of your head, is Pathways a partner in that? That's for teen moms and dads.
I will have to double check on that, but I
Okay.
do know that we do work with the teen population. That's a huge part of
Yeah, they absolutely
the
need to
families
know
that we do work
Okay.
with.
Awesome.
That education.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're welcome. Commissioner McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
The food kitchen that we just approved, do you go out before, how does that work when a business like that comes online?
So usually if a kitchen is being licensed, we do end up going out there, do the inspection for commercial kitchens. That is usually like catering businesses, things like that. They do have those type of kitchens that are available that they rent out space to caterers. And we just make sure that, refrigeration, all of those things that have to be just up to the standards and the law through our food code law, like we'll make sure that all of those things are in place.
Okay,
So-
and do you go during the initial build out or to make sure that they're
Yes,
Yeah.
usually they will, a part of our plan review process, if somebody is making updates to a kitchen, they
Right.
do have to submit their plans to our program.
Okay.
And then we will review that under our plan reviewers, and then they will follow through all the way up to the open up of inspection. And then everyone gets basically in line for how often they will be, our inspectors will go out and just do the annual.
Okay, and that's
inspection.
what I was gonna ask, is it just once a year or?
Yeah,
Or-
usually we right now have once a year just due to like our capacity, but if they're higher risk facilities, those are ones that we may go often,
Wow.
twice a year or so. Yep.
Thank you.
Commissioner Khalil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So just to review, the state sends us this money.
Yes,
It's not, we don't call them up and say, hey, we need money for this, for that. They just say, here it is, right?
yes, yeah.
And do they do that with health departments elsewhere in the state too?
Yes, they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
other, maybe Kent County gets the same.
Yeah, the amendments that we get throughout the year, basically for different
It's not
programs.
different for
No,
one county to another. And there is money in here for admin, right? They give you a little bit so we can actually run the program on behalf of the state.
within each of the grant program like requirements, it does have, you can utilize this funding for administration or indirect costs,
Yeah.
things like that.
Because what caught my eye here was co-op extension. That's the Michigan State University Cooperative Extension Program.
It's actually the vector-borne surveillance. I don't know why that was mentioned on there. I did see that, but that is our vector surveillance for the $2,000.
It's not the co-op extension?
No, it's not the co-op
Oh,
extension.
okay, because I
Yep.
was like,
Nope,
really,
it's
the
our,
state of
yeah.
Michigan is
No,
just
that is
giving
not
people
given through.
co-op extension money all over the state,
No, no.
which wouldn't be bad. I love what they do.
Yes,
But that
yes.
really jumped out at me when I saw it. I was like,
Yes, I did see that and I was like, it's
Okay.
vector-borne surveillance program and prevention.
okay.
Yep.
Any other things on here then that
No,
are going other than how they're labeled?
Nope, that is
Okay.
that is the only one.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else? All right, I need a motion, and this is contingent upon a budget adjustment.
I'll move to approve.
Okay. It's been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next item.
Moving back to the agenda. Item 2, discussion with the Michigan Environmental Council regarding air pollution, data centers, the Healthy Homes Initiative, and BASF, Detroit River Pollution.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna give your name and title.
I'm Galen Hardy. I'm the program director with the Michigan Environmental Council's Detroit program. Currently, the Detroit program serves as a conduit between policymakers in Lansing and municipalities, grassroots organizations, and residents. When things ain't working right, we can communicate back and forth. We have a office in Lansing's capital, then we have an office here in Detroit. The goal of my talk today is we're trying to develop better working conditions, between Wayne County and the Michigan Environmental Council in Lansing. Today, I want to talk about 4 different focus areas. One is going to be air quality and cumulative impacts. 2 is going to be data centers. The 3rd is going to be the Healthy Homes Initiatives. And the 3rd is going to be the reduction of pollution from BASF. We feel that if we can get these, if we can work together in Lansing, we could really make a difference here in Wayne County. And just as the saying goes, as Detroit goes, so does the state. As Wayne County goes, so does the state. So if we can solve our problems here, other environmental justice hotspots across the state can get the same assistance as well, because we're looking for statewide policies. The city of Detroit is known in America as the asthma capital of America, and that's a shame. Wayne County is the most polluted county in the state, and we feel that with cumulative impacts legislation, we can really, we won't stop what's here and happening right now, but we will can slow down more being added on. Cumulative impacts entails the total combined burden of environmental pollutants, air, water, and soil, and social stressors such as poverty and health disparities on communities. So just think that if we had a cumulative impacts legislation, and there's two other states that have it, is New Jersey and Massachusetts. These concrete crushers wouldn't pop up. Stellantis might not be here because they will look at what are those communities going through already. What's the impact on their air quality and water and soil now? Because we know we got the issue with the Detroit demolition dirt, and that could be thousands of toxic areas in our neighborhoods. This would stem that tide because they would say, okay, we're going to look at these impacts, the burdens on these folks already, and make a decision on siting. So, we won't be chasing profits over people because we try to keep a triple bottom line. That's people, profits, and planet. All working together, balanced like a triple beam scale. Not one or the other, not you, okay, we need these tax dollars, forget your health. No, they all work together in conjunction with one another. And that leads us to data centers. Data centers are popping up, or are being sited all across the country, and they have no guardrails. I think the facility in Saline will use as much energy as 350,000 homes. And from looking at other states, it's depleting their water aquifers. Not only that, it's causing noise pollution because there's a consistent humming that's going on. And then also, we're removing pristine land. What gives these billionaires the right to come in and change our lives without our approval? And our kids are having, with AI, they're graduating college and having hard times finding jobs. So we're asking for the county to work with us in Lansing to create guardrails, because they only say data centers, but they never tell you what's coming after it. They don't tell you about the digital currency. They don't tell you about the universal basic income because folks won't have jobs. They don't tell you about that. And these are the things that we need to be asking. We need to have stringent guardrails. And, the other part of my presentation is we want to sit down with you, because 7 minutes doesn't get us justice. We want to sit down with you and give you all, a really holistic presentation on all of the subjects that I'm going to talk about. The other issue we have is the Healthy Homes Initiative. Healthy Home Initiative provides green retrofits, for homes. Homes are like systems. If it's leaky, it's going to use more energy and it's going to create more emissions, which is going to increase the prospects of climate change. So we already got issues with high electric bills and whatnot. We pay the highest electricity in the Great Lakes states with the most unreliable service already. So we're fighting at the state level to make sure that those funds come down. But the problem is it's not holistic. 75% of Detroiters get kicked out the program because they might qualify for weatherization, but when those contractors get to the home, there's other issues going on and they won't touch anything. So imagine you sitting on a waiting list for 2 years. They get to your name, come out to your house, and now they can't do anything. We got to stop that. We got to make sure that it's holistic and whatever whatever it is wrong with that house, we can't kick the can down the road and say we'll get back to you in 5 to 10 years. No, we need to fix it while it's there. The city of Detroit needs $1 billion by itself. So we're asking for 15 million, and that's just a drop in the bucket. Because if you took away the poverty, if you took away the city of Detroit from Wayne County, the poverty left in Wayne County would be equal to Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. So in Lansing, we got to make sure that we're getting the lion's share of the money because we got the oldest housing stock in the state, some of the oldest. We got seniors in homes who need help. They're sitting up with single pane windows, and getting, exorbitant gas and light bills. When the plumbing's not working, they're getting high water bills. And then that's a whole nother issue when folks are saying water's not affordable. But they don't say, hey, the house has leaky pipes. They can't stop the water from running. Or the roof is leaking and it's leaking energy. So that's what we're fighting for. And we want Wayne County, under the guidance, I think, of Mr. Woody, I think he works with your lobbyists. We want to sit down with him and you to make sure that, in Lansing, we're fighting together. The last issue is BASF. BASF and Wyandotte signed a consent order 45 years ago, and they've been in violation since. They said that they were going to stop polluting the Detroit River, but they do the least amount, and just ignore the consent decree that they signed. And it shouldn't took 44 years, 45 years for us to get back to this point to tell them to stop. That means that something isn't working, and then if they divert, I mean, they're spewing like 60 gallons per minute of toxic water back into the river and only diverting like 1.5 gallons. And they've been doing this for years and getting away with it. And not only that, it's close to their water system, the water treatment system too, as well. It's only so many thousand feet from it. Let me be sure. It's sitting like the seepage is occurring 1,700 feet from the Wyandotte's municipal drinking water intake. These toxic components include PFAS chemicals, mercury, arsenic, benzene, and other harmful substance that they're putting into the river. And the river it doesn't belong to BASF. This is something that we all should be taking care of, and not ignoring that they're getting away with this. And, it's a risk to the residents. So we're asking that, once again, we want to sit down with you, talk more in depth about each one of these issues, bring our team in, and also work together in Lansing to make sure that Eagle does what they're supposed to do, because it's negligent to let them get away with it. And just because, it's a revenue source for Wyandotte, they can't ignore that. So that's my time. I'll take any questions that you have.
Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Kleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for being here today, Mr. Hardy.
Thank you.
We now have the Just Air monitors. Wayne County has put them out. City of Detroit has put them out. How valuable has that data been in your work? And I'm thinking of asthma.
Well, I sat on the team that, that was mapping where the air quality, sensors were going to go. The city of Detroit has scored an F from the American Lung Association the last few years, for air quality and asthma. It's one thing to know.
And does the Just Air sensor show that?
Well,
in what they're picking up?
Well, I can't say that because I'm not privy to what's
coming out. Because I'm wondering how those things work together. We have them out there, but who's using them?
But the next point is we got to do something about the data, because policy is where the rubber hits the road. And we think that cumulative impacts. Okay, we can't tell the Rouge plant to shut down or Marathon to move, but we can stop other companies who see open land and say we want to open there.
Well, aside from that, I was asking. I was going on a very narrow thing here. Has that Just Air data been able to be folded into policy? Because we have these numbers now. Yeah, we've known about asthma for In fact, there's a Sierra Club chart going around right now that shows the asthma rates in Detroit. It's a bar chart, so there's a little bar for state of Michigan asthma and a bar for city of Detroit asthma. So I'm hoping that that just air. But I agree with you in the sense. Now, those lobbyists in Lansing are hired by the commission. We are the appropriators of money. Unless the commission says, yeah, we're going to have a contract with these folks, there's no contract with them. So I would hope, and I don't know how we'd want to do it in terms of the commission input into which one is this? The
GCSI.
Yeah, GCSI. The largest multi-client firm in Lansing, to express the commission interest. Maybe we would want to do like a resolution of the commission or something to say this should be on the list of priorities for our lobbyists. MEC is well known.
Yes.
In Lansing, been around a long time. I've been sitting here trying to think. The founder was what's her? You know her very well, Madam Chair. You knew her very well. She ran for the governor or Senate at one time. Lana Pollock. Lana Pollock was the founder of MEC. Yeah. See, you Lansing folks know her. So, and very well respected. And MEC on a day in, day out basis is the only public interest group that is lobbying in Lansing, kind of on a day-to-day basis, right? There's some volunteer once a year. We'll have lobby days.
Yes.
But the MEC is there every day following this stuff. So I would like us to think about having a resolution encouraging that on these issues.
Yes.
Now, will GL, see, sounds like they're there to pick up my trash once a week. Do they also lobby on regulatory issues, or is it just legislation?
Both.
Both. Okay, so they can handle
Yes.
the BASF.
MEC does. Yes.
Yeah. And okay. All right. So that's what I'd like to see, Madam Chair. Somehow we get a resolution to support. Thank you. Thank you for being here, sir.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
McCormick?
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here and always being on top of things. Data centers, because that's the hot topic right now. Some people say, oh, we definitely need them because we use these things and computers and technology. So what do we do to balance out our need of data centers and what the data center is taking at the same time? Because it, like you just said, it takes energy, noise, pollution, water, all of that. How do we balance it out? That's, I think, the question that everybody wants to know, because we do have a need for them. Am I correct?
I think we were doing good last year and the year before, without them. But here's the other thing we're noticing, like if you look at the over in the Middle East, those data centers are getting bombed. So do they have a defense component to them? Is that setting us up to be a target if something happens? It's so new, and we're doing Hours to Protect events where Charlotte Jameson, our chief policy officer, is talking and like giving talks about data centers. So she's the subject matter expert on data centers. But I know that since it's so new, we can't rush into it. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying, oh, hurry up, and vote or skip the vote, at MPSC or whatever. And anytime you rush or somebody rushing you to do something, you're going to overlook a lot of things.
Right.
And one thing I want to make sure is that we protect our kids from AI slop, AI porn, all of these things. My grandson sent me a video of him on the school bus, but he wasn't on the school bus, but it looked like he was on the school bus, and how do we tell what's real and what's fake?
Yeah.
And they say it comes with a retinal eye scan, so these are things that, we want to make sure that our kids got a future. I mean, I understand technocrats want to make money and billionaires want to make money, but who gives them the right to put us out of work? Because
Okay,
what
so
happens to the union?
what does the legislation look like though to monitor or to I don't know, build only so many per year? I don't know what that looks like. So when you talk to legislation, that because that's what you came to us about, is to work together on this cumulative impact, right?
Yes.
Have you came up with any legislation around these 4 items that you're talking to, so that then we can kind of dig into them? And in particular, I was looking at the data centers.
We got some more information on cumulative impacts, and I'll send that out to you, to everybody.
Okay, great.
Also, I'll send you information from New Jersey and Massachusetts, where New Jersey just implemented cumulative impacts as of the 2024 year. The BASF issue, I could send you some information on that, on where they're violating the consent decree that they signed 40 some years ago. And then the Healthy Homes Initiative, NPSC or one of those alphabet organizations just funded $15 million to it. And that was, we were asking for money from the MyLeap, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have to get that because it came from somewhere else. But still ongoing funding, the federal government wants to cut out any of that type of money because they're saying that, the Trump administration is saying that, that money is coming from the states already. So the federal government doesn't need to fund, these things. And also we got to look at housing density. That's the issue. The city of Detroit is full of single family homes. You know what I'm saying? So now they're just getting into, building more apartments and stuff like that. But in some areas, they're fighting against it. They don't want the quadplexes or the triplexes or the in-laws homes in their backyards where they can rent out and make extra money. So we got to make sure that we got state laws that says that those things are okay, because that's where NIMBYism comes up. Not in my backyard. It's cool until, it comes to your home. So
Yeah, so a lot of these issues that you're talking about today, if we could have, I guess, the data that supports, what you're talking to, and then if you already have some type of legislation or resolution that talks to the change, and then we can kind of read over it and see how we can help in those areas, because I'm always for making a difference in our environment for our future, So I appreciate you being here. The last question, Commissioner Colleen asked about our air quality and the monitors that we got. When we first talked about the monitors, my question is, okay, we monitor the air, okay, and then what? It's like, okay, I thought we were already doing that because we already knew that our quality was poor. So now we invested in air monitors to see that our air quality is still poor. And so, but what do we do with the data, that data? What do we do with the monitors now that we have them, and how do we make a difference with those?
I think the data is used to pass legislation for cumulative impacts.
Okay.
So that data helps us make that case. even though we had data from Cafe and other places at, at U of M
Right.
and whatnot, but there's data, air quality monitors at schools and all across the city and the county.
So it is helpful. That's
Yes.
what you're
Oh,
saying.
yes, to inform the folks up there in Lansing, the policymakers,
Right.
this is why we need it. And, and here's what we think, the state needs to do.
Do around it. Okay.
Yes, because there's EJ hotspots outside of the city.
Mhm.
One that I could think of right offhand is Kalamazoo, where that paper plant is at.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's, so if we can use our might here, we can change the state. And I think
Okay.
that's legacy building for all of you.
So we get the data from the air monitors and we use that to say, hey, now we have evidence
Mhm.
that, this area and this school, and then we use that for legislation. Okay.
To say that no more in our communities are already overburdened.
Okay.
So no more.
No more.
And
So
then
that's the cumulative that impact.
exactly. And so as opposed to saying that, okay, we're gonna do community benefits and we're gonna still build this thing here and it's gonna still, make you sick. Now we can say, you know what, this community by the data here is overburdened. So you need to go find somewhere else to build it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yep, that was it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else? No. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you all.
We'll
Yeah.
stay in
I
touch.
look forward to
and
working with
continue
all
to
of you.
work with you. All right. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3, discussion with Central Care Management Organization, the City of Garden City, and City of Wayne.
Okay. Want to come to the table, please? No. No. Yeah. That's why I don't like to put too much on there because they don't stay. Yeah. Okay, we're ready for you. Want to give your name and information, whoever's going to talk.
Jerry Fisher. My name is Jerry Fisher, and I am the CEO of Center for Youth and Families.
Okay. All right.
My name is Sean Hahn, and I'm the supervisor for the Garden City Family Resource Center.
Okay.
My name is Chelsea Crawford, and I'm the Chief Administrator for Wayne Youth Services with the City of Wayne.
Okay.
My name is Erin Davis, and I also work for Wayne Youth Services, and I am the program director.
Okay.
Rachel Davis, Department Director for Juvenile and Youth Services.
Thank you.
Hi, Portia Carlisle. I am the Division Director over Community-Based Services for Juvenile and Youth Services.
Thank you. Okay. Go ahead.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing us to be here and for giving me this opportunity to talk about what is definitely a passion of mine, is prevention. And I will say, it's not just a passion of mine, it's a passion of my board. And it is definitely considered to us to be a mission program. About 2 years ago, we invested about $500,000 into renovating a space on the first floor at New Center 1 into a hub where families and youth could come. And first of all, they could feel safe, because we know felt safety is the #1 need for children and family. The second one is they could have a voice and a choice in their programming and what we would do there. And from that, we have integrated the youth assistance program into that use of the hub while still going out to the schools. We work with 7 schools that are within our catchment area. And we also work with 2 churches. And every week, the staff go out, they have their groups, they meet with the kids in the home and work with them. And then in the summertime, we hold camps at the hub. And we do a girls' camp, a boys' camp, so that we can begin to talk about, their issues. And then we also have just different groups about self-esteem, and we pick different things, and also a place for them to just play. I think kids just need a place to hang out. And at the same time, we do Yap on the Go during the summer, where this is funded by us. We go and take food trucks that are from local food truck owners, and they are able to feed 100 people. And we go to those areas in Highland Park, Hamtramck, and Detroit, and be able just to have like a community barbecue. Get to know them, talk with them. You get to meet everybody within the neighborhood that way. And for us, it's just been really a great time to do that. We also have kind of been able to develop a partnership with WDIV in order to have jackets and coats for all of the kids in the winter. I hate to see those babies without coats, trying to walk to school with their hoodies on. Even my own babies, I make sure that they're not wearing their hoodies to school. And just making sure that we're meeting their basic needs, that there's a lot of needs within the area we serve. And it goes beyond just the services. It goes to making sure that they have the coats, the jackets, food, that at Christmas, everyone has a Christmas gift. I couldn't stand if I knew a kid didn't have a Christmas gift, or have some Easter candy. And so just being able to make sure that we give them what is a normal childhood, and that they know that we care, that we love them, and that they are safe. And so through the youth assistance program, we've been able to do that. I'm excited to say we just hired a fully licensed therapist, which is one of the hardest things to ever do. And she will be able to do the group therapy, the individual therapy, which is part of the contract, as well as really work with our girls. We have 2 great male staff, but I feel so bad that they've had to answer some of the moms' questions. And so we really would like a female staff in there and working with the families and with the children. So that is what we do.
I don't know about that. So Aaron and I, we are from the city of Wayne. We are a youth assistance program as well. Our guiding principle is that children cannot be successful without a community. So our main goal in everything we do is making sure that the children know that when they are going home, they still have the community behind them, supporting them and encouraging them. Most of our funds are channeled from the contract based on individuals that maybe have found themselves in trouble. So that is how most of our services are provided. That's how we earn our money. And then after we've paid what we need to pay, all of our money is then reinvested back into our community. So this year we actually piloted a program at one of our local middle schools, Franklin Middle School. We hired their staff to provide extracurricular activities after school. So they ran a cooking club where the kids got to come and make a meal to take home for their family that day. We ran an art club, board game club, different exercise clubs. We've had, unfortunately, a lot of need in our community. Parents aren't able to provide sporting equipment. So we have a lot of our kids that are showing up to track meets in winter boots to run. So we've invested a lot back into our community sports so that all of our kids can participate. We're helping kind of support some of their field trip initiatives. A lot of our students, unfortunately, are making the requirements to be able to go on these incentive field trips like to Cedar Point, but unfortunately, their families just aren't able to provide those resources. So can we meet those basic needs is step one, right? Once we've done that, how can we help so that they do feel like they're having that traditional childhood experience, or that they can just come be kids and hang out in a safe environment for a few hours and get their minds off of what am I going to do when I get home? am I going to have dinner on the table? Well, I don't have to worry about that. I got that here. So giving them that sense of community is central to our program.
And I'm from the city of Garden City, and we do very similar things. So it's probably going to sound a little redundant, but our youth assistance program provides prevention, intervention, and diversion services for youth ages 7 to 17. Our contract covers 10 to 17, but we cover the rest to make sure that we can follow our mission statement, which is that we're dedicated to helping every child have the nurturing support to become a healthy, caring, responsible, educated member of the community. So through providing intervention diversion services with the county court, with the police department, and a few other police departments in our local area, we service as much of Western Wayne County as does not step on the toes of our partners. We work with youth that are looking for a second chance, an opportunity. They've made a mistake of some kind, and they don't want that to have to follow them for the rest of their lives. Their parents don't want to have to come down to downtown and deal with the court and the system and the fees and everything else that can come with that. Our officers work very hard to make sure that youth are given that opportunity. We do provide some support to the community through this contract as well through supporting the cost of school resource officers in the city of Garden City. Our prevention programs are designed to help catch kids before they find themselves in trouble and provide them the positive resources to make it less likely that they will fall into those traps.
Each one of you can tell you how many kids that you have in the program.
Sure. So for this year, from October of 2025 till current, our goal is to serve 250 kids a year. We've already serviced 200, so we are definitely going to surpass our goal this year.
Thank you.
We also aim for around 250 kids annually, and this year we are well on track to getting there through the variety of funding sources that we have.
Okay. And you, Ms. Fisher?
We are contracted for 240 youth.
240. All right. Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Noisy Mike. This has been terrific, Madam Chair. You inviting the YAP programs here to really hear what's going on around the county. I haven't brought this up in the past, but I want to ask about the families. Of the kids you got, how many are single parent families?
I don't have an exact number, Commissioner, but I will say a very high percentage come from single parent families.
Yeah.
The zip codes we serve are very poor.
Yeah, what's your catchment area?
Our catchment area is the west side of Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park.
Okay.
And so, I mean, usually we deal with a single mom. That is our typical family dynamic.
Yeah.
Or grandma.
I was going to say kids living with
Yeah,
grandparents, right?
Yeah.
No parents around at all.
Population.
So this is across all of your programs.
Yes.
High number of single parent family or
Or
with relatives.
or with the state placed in foster care and in
Yeah.
facilities.
now, are you able to work with through your programs, parents and or guardians? Can you do some programming with them too? And what do you work with those folks on? So you got this teenager in your house. Few things you need to know.
We do a parent cafe with our parents once a month where they can come to the hub and have some coffee. I'm a real coffee advocate. And
Coffee.
and we have speakers that come and talk with them or therapists that would volunteer to come and talk with them just about different issues teenagers face.
And you have this, do you find that has a positive effect on the parents and on the home life?
I would say it has an effect, a positive effect. I'm not sure if it has the positive effect we would like.
In
That's
our
an interesting answer. I'd like you to say a couple of more words about that.
You know, as with any adult, just saying something doesn't make the change. I think that if we were able to really work with the parent in the home,
Yeah.
and really engage them more, it would have a much more positive effect. However, given their circumstances,
Yeah.
and also the services we offer to the prevention, it's not the same as like with the CMO, where they're in the house with the family every week.
Yeah.
I would say the hardest aspect of working with the families, with parents and with youth, is that no matter how much education and motivation you can provide, ultimately it is the decision of every individual who's in the program if they're going to make the changes necessary to improve their situations.
Well, because they're teenagers with you, that already says something about the home life.
You would be surprised how many parents do not recognize that connection.
I don't think I would, but that goes back to my high school teaching days. But I think that rings true to me, right? Because people have to go back, walk in that bungalow, into that situation where there's not enough money, maybe too many kids for them to handle, and the situations are real chaotic. Did you go to school today? Nobody. I mean, there's just keeping track of day to day is very difficult. So I applaud what you're doing. I imagine your numbers are like a lot of the other YAP programs that we have, that for the most part, kids are staying out of trouble while they're in your program. Hoping that goes on into their 20s. So yeah, front lines. Thanks for coming by today. I really like the YAP program and what we've been doing all these years. And how do the judges in your area or the police in your area react to YAP? Could they be considered partners or barriers?
Our judge is a vital partner to our program. She actually has the ability to oversee juvenile cases in our local city. So those that don't get forwarded to Third Circuit, we do have our own probation department we run with her. Our police department is a very collaborative relationship with us. They've asked us to kind of focus and grow them. Next year, they would like to do more of a hands-on group to kind of help start some of that early career intervention. So that's something we've committed to working with them for to bring forward. So we have a great working relationship with both of our departments.
And I guess I should throw in their city attorneys.
Yes, we're part of our city, so our city attorney definitely deals with us frequently.
Definitely.
Deals with us frequently just because we are a city department.
Yeah, but in the sense of it's really good that it's here and this is a real good tool for me to use.
The city prosecutor, I definitely think sees our value. He meets with our youth and he sees offers those juvenile probation services and kind of advises them on what to do. So I definitely think he sees the value in keeping it local, saving the families from having to come downtown and take that day off work and deal with that. So
I gotcha. Yeah. Better for the community.
Okay. Yeah, we have a similar relationship with our police department. We don't have a relationship really with our court system because our juvenile cases are handled by Third Circuit and generally through the Right Track program. But we have a very good relationship with city staff, city attorney, and police department.
We have a very good relationship. We deal with Highland Park and Hamtramck police departments, and then also 4 precincts in Detroit. So we've had the commanders come out a couple of times, and they always are, have jokes to tell, which kind of, just gives them a different, perspective. We also try to do with them a barge kind of experience where the police officers talk about their experiences and how they feel about juvenile crime, and then also how the kids feel about the police.
Right.
And when they're involved. So it gives them kind of a perspective of both sides.
Yeah, that is true also, your police officers, because I think that humanizes things a little bit, right? Where it's not every time you see a cop, it's like, the ground, right? That's these are human beings too, and the cops see that the kids are human beings, probably understand their situation better, where the kid's coming from. And hopefully the kids see the cops' point of view, what they're there for, protecting the community, serve and protect and have a better. So that's wonderful to hear too from everybody. Thank you for coming in today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I appreciate you all being here. I know Fisher, Sean, from having crossed paths over the years, and I appreciate what you're all doing. You've got to have a passion for what you're doing. It's not just a 9 to 5 job that you basically check out at the end of the day and don't think about what happened that day and issues that you dealt with. That's off to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner.
Yeah, I just, one thing, I want to explore the money here a bit.
Mhm.
You have a contract with the county. You make an ask to the county every year? How does that come about? How do you settle on 220 kids as opposed to 250?
We look at the capacity based on our staffing and our space and based on previous years of experience with people coming in. Our program's been operating since the 80s, so we've got some good data for what a normal year looks like over the time. We put that together and then we crunch the numbers on average. How many youth is that going to be per group? How many staff are going to be required for that group? What is that cost going to look like? We break it all down. We put it together and we present it.
Because I imagine there's more young people out there than you're serving that would qualify for the services.
In Wayne County, you can make a very strong argument that every youth would qualify for the services because of the community, school, and environmental risk factors that exist.
So in talking to our department and on an annual contract to say, you know, if we could get funding for 2 more positions, we could serve whatever, another 50, another 100 kids. Do those discussions take place?
We have yearly assessment meetings with a variety of individuals, including those at our schools, our school board, our community. We have several meetings with our team. Planning takes, I feel like 6 months in advance, we're talking about what we want to do. So for us, I know our situation is drastically different than our counterparts. Our predecessor that was in charge for 25 years was left last year. So we kind of are pivoting and figuring it all out as we go. But
you could serve more kids with a few more staff people, right?
More money. I mean, we diversify our funding. I know they've talked about there's other grants, but yeah, I mean, but you could give us millions of dollars and we could continue to turn it into all of the kids. The need is great in the community and it could go far.
You haven't looked at Wayne County's budget lately.
I would say, yes, we could serve more, but finding staff too is not as easy as it once was. So I think we do have that is a struggle often. And then keeping staff in a nonprofit is hard. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It's very hard.
Yeah.
But does our department look at that too, to say if we can increase funding by X amount and then whatever issues you might run up in the individual ones, right? That we can have 10%, 20% more kids in our YAP programs. Do we make those assessments?
So thank you, everybody, for coming today and for everything that you guys do. It's great to work with you all. So one thing I would like to point out is the considerations that have been shared here. So not only their staffing and capacity to serve the youth, but then also keeping in mind that this is a voluntary program. So again, they can hire more people, they can build the bigger building. Will the youth and families volunteer to participate? So that is another thing to consider.
Yeah.
And then also the funding for these things. So while JYS wants to ask, in our budget for all of the money that could be accessible for us to share with different providers, we are still confined to the constraints of our budget.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's why we have budget hearings.
Absolutely.
And the Wayne County Commission appropriates the money. But we're not saturated when you talk about, it's a voluntary program for kids to get in. There's still more kids that would be volunteering for that program out there. Do we have a sense of that as a county? to say, you know, if we bump the funding by whatever it is, across all the yaps, 6 million a year, we can bring X number of kids. Because what we're hearing is the success of this program. And so I'm suggesting we spend a few more dollars and be a bigger success. I mean, this is our youth, right? These are our families. These are our communities. And a lot better if they're in a youth assistant program rather than walking up and down my block on the east side. It's like, hey, guys, right? We don't get any ideas while you're out there that they need, that the youth really do need this.
We do have in Garden City at our community center, the Parks and Rec Department. We partnered with them for the Michigan Out of School Time 32N funding for after school tutoring, which after school tutoring is a portion of what we do. It's exclusively what they're doing for that program. Their enrollment restrictions are a little bit less because we have to follow the child care handbook for the state of Michigan. So it's a little less stringent. And when we saw over 130 people sign up in a 2-month period and consistently attend the tutoring program. So if that gives you any indication as to how many youth are looking for something or how many parents are looking for something that they have accessible to them.
130 kids in Garden City?
In 2 months.
In 2 months.
Tutoring.
Not a major metropolitan city.
There's 27,000 people total there.
Yeah. So you have a fair chunk of the young people.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to explore the money just for a little bit. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you for coming and giving us this insight on what you're doing. Do appreciate it. Thank you, Director and staff, for coming today also. And
thank you.
We'll continue working on this kind of thing.
Madam Chair, can I leave some information here for you?
Can.
Right. Can I bring it around or you want to leave it somewhere?
All right. Next item, please.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I have none. Next one.
G, public comments.
Is there anyone on?
There's no one on Zoom
No
indicating that
one's
they'd
on
like to
Zoom?
speak.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a statement? Anyone in the audience? All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Till the next meeting. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. For you, Chair.
Adjournment.
Oh, yes. He distracted me with all this material. You moved and now